Hi, I'm Keith Melton, the president of Cane Masters and the senior master of the cane. My passion is designing and crafting beautiful canes, and I'm also very skilled in using them. There is so much malarkey available on the internet. It's hard for folks to know what they can depend on. But today, we're going to bust the 5 biggest myths of self-defense canes and let you decide for yourself. There are 3 conditions that are essential for a self-defense cane. Number 1, it must be usable. Canes are mobility tools. You have to be able to walk with it. It needs to make your back feel better when you're using it. It needs to be comfortable. Second condition, it must qualify under the standards of ADA, the Americans with Disability Act. It must be classified as an approved ambulatory tool. That way, you can take it with you anywhere or anytime you go. Think of that, anywhere or anytime. And third, this has to be a cane you're going to depend on. It has to be a cane you can use for your lifetime. And God forbid, if you need to defend yourself, it needs to be a cane that's going to be sturdy and can save your life. The first claim we want to examine is that cheap canes are just as good. We hear this occasionally from folks that are interested in canes, and they're confused by especially looking at eBay and Amazon, because on there you'll see canes that almost look the same, and they're significantly less. And they think, well, why should I pay more? Because I can simply get it. It's there, it's available, and it'll serve my purposes. So I took a sample cane we purchased from eBay. It came from Southeast Asia. It's made from a very light wood. It weighs less than 11 ounces. Fast, easy to move. The problem is it is inherently dry and brittle. Almost all canes that I have examined from eBay, imported from Asia, have that same problem. And they can't be relied upon. Most of them will break first time you hit them. To test them, we're going to see if they can survive strikes from one of our standard Cane Masters canes, aluminum baseball bat, or one of the more difficult, could it survive a strike from a crowbar? And we'll see, because in a self-defense situation, you might find yourself facing any of those. Let's see. I've asked my son Luke to be the guinea pig or the bad guy, and we're going to let him hold the cane and see how it stands up. This is one of our veterans canes. It's a standard hickory cane, 1 inch, kind of typical of the canes we produce. And we'll see how the eBay special does and see if it can survive. 1 strike. And this is why you don't want to buy canes from eBay. The next category of canes that folks often tell us that are cheap and wonder if they're good, we call them the drugstore canes. This is an adjustable metal cane. I picked it up from one of the big box stores. It weighs about 12 ounces. Feels okay. Has a 2-part handle. Let's see how it tests. See, I don't know if we could take a baseball bat or a crowbar. Let's first see if it can simply survive a single strike from a standard 1 inch cane. Took one, it's bent. This is why you don't want a cheap cane. So far, our cheap eBay and drugstore canes aren't holding up very well. So I went and purchased one that's a bit heavier duty. It has a traditional J top, kind of nice cushioned top. It's a heavier grade aluminum. Now it says it'll support up to 300 pounds, kind of a universal cane. Let's try again. Here's Luke. Okay. Standard 1 inch veterans cane. Bent significantly. One more. And this is why you don't want to shop for a self-defense cane at the drugstore. Now, to be fair, we wanted to test one of our Cane Masters canes. This is one of our basic cane blanks. It's been sanded. We received it from the mill. It could be a variety of canes that we would finish. It has not yet been submerged in a bath of mineral oils, which all of our canes go for 48 hours, which gives additional strength and rigidity. Just good, solid 1-inch American premium hardwood. Well, let's see if it'll hold up to the same strikes, and let's try it against a baseball bat and even a crowbar. So once again, Luke's going to be the bad guy. My standard veteran's cane. Can't break it. Let's try now with a heavier tool. This is an aluminum baseball bat. Kind of something that you'd see on the playground, but it's also small enough that a bad guy may use on the street. Well, let's see how it does. Got a couple dents here in the aluminum. The cane is just fine. The final nightmare in a torture test would be, how does one of our standard training canes, how does it stand up to a solid metal crowbar? Purchased this at Home Depot, 36 inches. It is heavy, it's strong, it is formidable. Never tried it against a cane. Let's see how it does. This is your worst nightmare? Our cane did well. The second myth we'd like to bust is the idea that heavy canes are better. It's very interesting. In the same day, we have the pleasure of talking to customers. They'll call and ask, they want the very heaviest cane we possibly have. And then within the next hour, a customer will be saying almost the same thing, except they want the very lightest cane. So there's some confusion. I believe if you're just coming into the world of self-defense canes, intuitively you want the heaviest cane you can possibly carry. The problem is that weight doesn't necessarily provide you with any additional advantage. Our standard 1-inch training cane weighs about 1 pound and 4 ounces. Every piece of wood is unique, and of course it's different, but you want to be able to maneuver it, spin it, and this works beautifully for that. These are what these canes are for. The problem and the weakness is in your wrist. Let's take a look at a metal cane. This is one made by K-Bar. It's made of aluminum, strong cane, metal cane. Weighs about 2 pounds, 2 ounces. I am strong, good strong arms, but my wrist, after a lifetime of training, I can't maneuver it. It's too heavy. Heaviness and weight are good if you're looking for a boat anchor or a doorstop. For a training cane, however, it's just the opposite. You want speed. Speed and momentum and mass give you ultimately the impact at the strike. Imagine the conundrum facing a baseball batter. Do they want the biggest, heaviest bat they can use to hit the ball? Or do they find that one that's lighter, but they can swing faster, is more effective? Baseball players solved that equation decades ago. So stay away from the heaviest cane. It's uncomfortable to carry, and it's extremely difficult to maneuver. Pick one that's comfortable, lightweight, and you can move very fast. The third myth is that metal canes are stronger and therefore they have to be better. This is a solid titanium cane. Bought it off of eBay, strong as heck. It is a 2-piece cane, it's screwed together, but pretty formidable. This weighs just at 32 ounces. This is a behemoth. I cannot possibly maneuver it. Could I carry it? Yes, I could. And I guess if I'm just walking, it would be okay. But to try to do any type of self-defense movement would be out of question. Heavy does not work for aluminum. And we've seen the extreme that lightweight does not work for aluminum either. So is there a metal advantage? Actually, there is one cane that we do recommend. And this is the Robina Raven by Grandmaster Robina. It weighs approximately 1 pound, 8 ounces. High-grade aircraft aluminum. It's not a cane we sell, but if I'm going to carry a metal cane, this would be the one that I use. Customers occasionally call us and tell us that they don't need cane training. They're athletic, they're in good shape, they run daily, they've been involved in martial arts all their life, so why would they need that? But it doesn't mean that you know how to use a cane. To use a self-defense cane without any training, well, essentially, this would just be a good luck charm or a prayer talisman. If it's something you're going to bet your life on, spend the time to learn to use it. All those skills you've used as an athlete or in martial arts, you probably have some good muscle memory. And the time to acquire skills and a good foundation with a cane is relatively short. So anyone that tells you that they don't need to be trained with a cane, that's just foolish. This is an example of what we call a medical cane. If you go to the VA, you're in a hospital, this is the type of piece they issue you. It's very light, about 11 ounces, produced in China, Asia, somewhere. It is some form of wood, no one tells us what, but the most glaring distinction is this tiny crook. And the crook is just slightly over 3 inches, and I guess it's okay, I can get my fingers in it, but the problem, it's impossible to spin. You could maneuver it, but it's an example of a medical device that sometimes folks want to think it's useful as a self-defense cane, and that's just not the case. Continuing to bust the myth that all canes are created equal, we have to talk about a sword cane. In fact, I've done a video just on this, but the idea that you could carry a cane and also have a concealed dagger or blade inside, it's just poppycock. It's not realistic. You end up with having a tool that is not a comfortable cane. It's certainly not approved for ADA. You could never carry something like this on an airplane. It's something I suggest, leave it for the fantasies and the movies. Maybe it'd be cute to keep in your office as an example of what not to carry, but don't ever depend on this to save your life. So at this point, we've busted the 5 biggest myths of self-defense canes. The solution is good wooden self-defense canes designed by an American master, produced from American hardwoods, is the one you want to invest in, and it'll save your life. Ultimately, there is no better solution for personal protection than a quality cane and knowing how to use it. Now at Cane Masters, this is what we do. I'm an engineer by training. Any cane that I design and test, you can bet your life on. So what we'd like you to do, give us a call. 800-422-2263. We're happy to arrange a cane consultation with myself or my son Luke. Please hit the subscribe button, and we want you to stay safe.